Hey guys, I'm here with Hannah Goldy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Surviving. As we were just talking before, kids keep you busy.
They do. They absolutely do.
So the first question I want to ask is, you had a fight scheduled in 2020. I think it got canceled if I'm correct.
Yep.
Uh, you haven't fought since 2019. How has training been? Do you feel like there's going to be some rust leading into your fight next week?
So I had a couple fights scheduled since my last bout, and I have just had the worst luck with injuries. So this fight camp, I've really just been, focusing on injury prevention and, safe and stuff like that, just making it to the fight because it has been, a struggle to do that. But no, honestly, I'm really excited. I feel, more prepared than I've ever felt for a fight. I feel in better shape than I've ever felt for a fight. I think I've just leveled up on so many levels, and even though I haven't gotten the experience in the cage,
Hmm.
over the past year, 2 years, I still feel like I've just gotten so much experience in the training room and in life in general too. My last fight, there was a lot going on
Hmm.
outside of the cage that, was affecting, I think, my mental performance inside of the cage settled and I'm just feeling better mentally and I'm really perform on Saturday night.
For sure, Sada. So you're fighting Jessica Panay. She has had a problem with PEDs in the past. Is that something that you have taken into consideration? Like, does that worry you at all?
Honestly, like up until a couple weeks ago, I didn't even know that like that was a thing. Like I didn't even know
Oh
that she
wow.
had people for that. It's funny because like I am like USADA's favorite athlete ever. Like I literally
Yeah.
get tested like 5 times a day
Yeah.
because of the way that I but like she's been in the USADA testing pool and I trust them and I trust that and I think that you know who knows what really happened. I haven't really looked into that story
Hmm.
and people take supplements and they aren't aware of what's in them a lot of times.
For
Like I
sure.
said, I'm not super well versed on her situation, but I do trust USADA and the testing pool that we're in, and I'm sure that if she had a violation, that they probably are making sure that she's not having another one. They're pretty serious, so
Hmm.
no, not really worried about that. I just have to be worried about myself, and like I said, I feel more prepared than I've ever been, and
Hmm.
I'm ready. So it's about what I'm gonna do, and I'm not really worried about that.
Now, does it mean anything that you're going in there against a former Invicta champion, someone that's fought for the strawweight belt? What would a win over her mean to you though? Because that's obviously put your name in the hat. Because that would be a big win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and I always feel like I perform better against better talent. You know what I mean? I feel like
Hmm.
I the occasion. So I'm excited to fight somebody that has so much experience. I'm excited to fight somebody like her. She has a name and she's very well rounded. And the fact that she has been the Invicta champ, it doesn't intimidate me. I'm excited. I'm excited
Yeah.
to put my to the test against an elite level athlete. And when you're in the UFC, it's like everybody that you fight is a tough fight. There's no easy fights in the UFC. Everybody was a champ somewhere, or
Correct.
is a belt in jiu-jitsu, or was a world champ in judo, or whatever it is. So everybody's gonna have their thing, and you know, I I just enjoy being able to perform and put my skills up against another elite level athlete.
Absolutely. And you haven't fought since 2019, so I don't think the COVID situation was around then, or it might have just been starting. Now they're fighting without a crowd at the Apex. How do you think that will affect you? Like, do you think fighting with no crowd will affect you at all?
So I fought on Contender at the Apex, and like,
Yeah.
although there was a small crowd, it was still like nothing like
Yeah.
having, the people there. And honestly, I really loved it. Like, I enjoyed being able to hear my corners, and I didn't mind, the intimacy of
Hmm.
situation. So I think that that is something that I'm actually going to enjoy more. I love having the fans there, but as an athlete, I think that we can really like zone in more when there's no fans, just because,
Yeah.
like I said, you're right there, you can hear everything that's going on. You can really focus on everything that's going on. So that really, like, I prefer it.
Yeah, I think a lot of fighters have been saying like we actually enjoy the whole like you said, learning in the corner. Like for a fight, I was watching Cormier versus Stipe, and you seen like Stipe push Cormier in the corner, and he was actually getting advice throughout the whole fight. So it must benefit you at absolute for sure.
Yeah.
Do you? First of all, I want to say, have you met Francis Ngannou, who's fighting this weekend, and how big is he if you have?
I haven't spoken to him, but I did see him the last time that I went out to PI, and he's big, he's a big
He's a
person.
big boy. Do you have a prediction for this fight on the weekend? I'm a huge Stipe fan. I honestly am one of the people who think Stipe pulls it out. But what's it like to fight on the greatest heavyweight, probably of all times card?
I'm super excited. Like, when I found out that I was fighting on that card, I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so for that. I'm excited to watch that fight. I have Stipe. I'm a huge Stipe fan too. So yeah, that's my prediction for that fight.
And for Ortega's fight against Volkanovski, I personally got Ortega. I just think he'll outwork him for 5 rounds. But how do you see that one going?
I think it's going to be a great fight. Honestly, I think it's going to be very competitive. I think I have Volkanovski in that one though.
Or so you think Volkanovski's underrated, probably?
I do, yeah. I think he's good, and I think that he's got something to prove too. So I'm expecting that to be a really good fight.
Can you agree that he didn't win the second Max Holloway fight though?
I'd honestly have to go back and rewatch it. Like, I
Yeah.
can't say from right now.
Hmm.
But I don't know. When was the last time that Ortega fought?
He fought Korean Zombie and he looked amazing. He had to shave his
Okay.
head.
I can't even remember his last fight. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm excited. Like, both of those fights are just, I think they're just going to be amazing fights.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome to be on that card. Being around the women's division, growing like for the last since 2013 now with Ronda Rousey, was there a girl that you looked up to getting into the sport?
I mean, I loved watching Ronda. That was definitely, it was always just like epic. I remember, coming up, and fight nights were like a huge
Hmm.
now, to be honest, if unless there's a fight on a card that I'm like emotionally invested in, or like a super entertaining matchup, then I'm kind of like, oh, I don't really want to get the fights tonight, because
For sure.
I just so much time, in the gym
Yeah.
fighting, just need a break from it. But I remember, like, every single time she fought, I was watching it. Every single time she fought, it was like, it felt like McGregor status, but I resonated with me even more because she was a female.
Hmm.
So I always enjoyed watching her fight so much. But to be honest, there was never somebody that I was like, oh my gosh, I look up to them so much.
Yeah.
I always just wanted to be like the next Hannah Goldie.
Exactly. Stick to your own. My last question is for you is: are you going to stay in your division, or the divisions are developing more in the UFC? Are you looking to stay in your division, or would you go up, down, or is that something you'd want to do?
Well, so right now, so this fight's going to be at 15, so
Yeah.
there's definitely no going down from there.
Oh yeah. Sorry. My bad.
No, you're good. But 125 is always an option.
Yeah.
I like being at 115. I feel like I'm in the best shape there. I feel
Yeah.
like, I reach my athletic potential there. But
Hmm.
I'm always open to, looking into the 125 division. I would just have to cater my training, because my debut was at 125, but that fight was
Yeah.
on, like, 9 or 10 days notice, and I
Yeah.
wasn't in the shape that I'd want to be in for,
For sure.
120 muscle mass and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's up in the air. Right now I'm definitely happy at 115, but we'll see what happens. We'll see where it goes.
For sure. I can still hear you. It just blur right out of there. There we go. Damn internet connection.
No, you're good.
Um, I really appreciate your time today. Did you have any sponsors or anything you wanted to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, so I have a couple companies that have made me some awesome gear. Custom Baker Bands made me like 24K headbands that are awesome. There's Instagram bio at Hannah Goldy for those. Team Reaper made me awesome Hannah Goldy shirts. So if you want to grab one of those before my fight. And then just shout out to Fusion, XL, my gym, and Technique Boxing, and all my coaches, training partners that have just devoted their time to me over this
Hmm.
fight camp. So I'm just excited to perform for you guys on Saturday.
And time to whoop ass now.
Exactly. And eat.
Perfect. Perfect. I really appreciate time.
No problem. Thank you.